I want to start with a story, and I'm pretty sure it's a story every skier and snowboarder knows. You wake up, the snow report looks good, you drive to that mountain that everyone says is amazing, the kind of place that shows up on every top 10 list. Great terrain, fast lifts, beautiful lodge. On paper, it should be the perfect day, but the parking lot is packed, the lift lines are long, and people are complaining. The energy is just off. And somehow a day that should have been incredible turns into one of the most frustrating days you've had all season. Then a couple weeks later, you find yourself on some tiny little hill, the kind of place that most people would drive past on their way to the bigger mountains. The lifts are slow, the terrain is small, the snow isn't great, but you ride all day. You laugh. You take a couple of runs you didn't even expect. And somehow that little hill ends up giving you one of the best days of the year. And I think everyone who skis and snowboards knows that story because we've all lived it. And that story always makes me think about something. Because we spend a lot of time talking about which mountains are the best. Top 5 mountains, top 10 resorts, best terrain, best snow. But skiing and snowboarding doesn't really work like that because the mountains don't decide whether you have a good day. You do. Here's something I realized over the years. You can make the smallest rinky-dink mountain amazing, and you can make the best mountain in the world miserable. It happens all the time. And it happens because skiing and snowboarding are ultimately personal experiences, not ranked experiences, not curated experiences, personal ones. Think about how a kid experiences snow. A kid sliding down a hill on a sled during a snow day doesn't care if the hill is famous, if the snow conditions are perfect, if the lift infrastructure is world class. They're just having fun. But as adults, we somehow learn how to complicate everything, even the supposed things that bring us joy. And I don't know exactly when this happened. Maybe it's just me getting older. Maybe I'm turning into that guy shaking his fist on his lawn at the clouds. But it feels like we live in a world where people can make a lollipop not fun, something that is pure joy, and we find a way to layer negativity onto it. And skiing already asks a lot of us. It takes time, it takes effort, sometimes it takes a lot of money. So if those things are already part of the equation, why would you choose to add more negativity? This is where personal responsibility comes in. Your experience on the mountain is largely determined by the attitude you bring with you. You can show up looking for everything that's wrong. Bad snow, slow lifts, crowds, wind, icy patches. Or you can show up deciding something different. You can decide that you're going to enjoy the act of being on snow because the mountain isn't responsible for your attitude. You are. And this is something that dirtbag skiers figured out a long time ago. Dirtbag skiers don't chase perfect experiences. They chase a day on the snow. They could have fun on icy hills, on slushy spring days, on tiny local mountains, because the joy wasn't about the perfection of the resort. The joy was about the act of sliding down a mountain. For me, the choice is perfectly simple. If I had the option, I'm going to choose to have a good time every time. I choose laughter before frustration. I choose fun before complaining, because skiing and snowboarding are supposed to be one of the simple joys we have. Strapping a board to your feet and sliding down a snowy hill, that's not supposed to be complicated. Maybe the reason it feels like skiing has lost some of that joy is simply because the loudest voices are the unhappy ones. That happens everywhere. The people having fun usually aren't the ones complaining online. But even if that's true, there are still way too many people choosing frustration. And if you want a better experience on the mountain, it starts with the one thing you actually control, and that's you. Because the mountains don't decide whether you have a good day. You do. I'm Blair, and this is the Dirtbag Association, where our wax is old, our knees are older, but the stoke doesn't melt. See you on the mountain.
I don't ask for too much.